My advice would be to listen and advocate for your members. Their well-being and health is always your number one priority, but that does not mean that they won't be upset with you. There are going to be times where you've done everything right and people can still be upset. So just remember that if your guiding points are right, if you're chasing the North Star, headed in the right direction, motivated by the right things, then you're probably going to be okay and your members will follow.
Advice I have for future team leaders is probably be yourself at all times and always be genuine. You're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days, but through your bad days, the bad days are what you're going to remember the most, and that you should always be kind, no matter what the situation or how people are treating you.
Don't take anything personally. Don't let your core members measure your success. Stay positive. If you're a positive person, don't let any negativities on your team drain that from you. You need to keep your positivity for your own health and sake, and let the little things go. And if it's not going to affect your life after the core year is over, just let it go.
I would tell them that the only thing you can control are your thoughts and your actions, and that all else is uncontrollable. So as long as you put forth your best effort and you attempt to make the best decision possible, any other thing that happens is out of your control.
My advice for future team leaders is to take advantage of Team Green and really form those bonds, because when you're out in the field, you might feel isolated or just need some support from someone else or some advice, and then once you have those connections, it just makes it a lot easier. So really, I would advise you to do that and just take advantage of all the opportunities you have. Go on morale trips, visit, see what you can, get out in the community, love your team. It's going to be a great year.
Just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to call your unit leader for help. Don't be afraid to hold your members accountable for their actions. Don't be afraid to speak up to your sponsor when what they're doing or they're pushing you to do something that you don't feel you should be doing. You get a lot of really good training in TLT. You get a lot of good training in CTI, and you're picked for this role for a reason. You have a good head on your shoulders and trust your gut. And if you're feeling afraid of what you're doing, call your unit leader and just be like, hey, this is what's going on and I'm worried about it. They're not gonna bite your head off for being human. Like, they've been here. They've dealt with tons of people who have been in the shoes that you're about to fill. So you're in good hands, and just try to conquer those fears.
I would just say not to get too stressed out about the small stuff. There's a lot of small stuff that are going to add up throughout the year, and if you let it just keep getting to you, then by the end of it, those small things are going to become big things. So there's going to be a lot of small stuff, so just don't get too stressed out about that stuff.
I would say the biggest thing is have confidence in yourself. Know that you know what the right decision is and you know what to do, especially with the trainings and the support that you have. Trust that and go with what you believe and don't second guess yourself. And also to use your unit leader. They will help you. You may not want to admit that you need help, but if you do, they can be there to support you, and they will make your life a lot easier if you actually do use them.
The advice that I have is to always stay strong. Honestly, the bad times will pass. Even when you don't think that they will, they will. And honestly, just hold your ground and face the adversity. Persevere, because you can do it.
That it's okay to be a savage, especially in the beginning. There are going to be times where your team is going to be less than you think that they should be, and it's okay to push them.
Use the mantra in college, say yes to everything. If someone asks you to do something, say yes to it, because you'll always have, I like being helpful, so I always try to be helpful when I can, and I think saying yes to stuff can lead to other interesting opportunities and experiences down the line. So always keep an open mind and always make sure that you have always make sure that you have enough time to do the things you need to do, but also time to do these new experiences and to put yourself out there. And this is the time for self-development and to see who you really are.
When it comes to disciplinary action, don't give up ground early, because any ground you give up, you're never going to get back.
Just take everything in. Right now, going throughout your year, things will irritate you, people will get on your nerves, you're going to miss home, all of these things are going to come up, but at the end of the year, or even at the end of the round, or at the end of a week, you'll realize like everything is completely worth it. This will be like the year of your life. You're gonna go through some of the craziest challenges, but embrace them. You learn something about yourself through every challenge and obstacle that you go through, and so embrace that and just move forward and take that with you.
Definitely remember that you're not alone, because sometimes it's easy when you're out on spike to just look around and see that you're the only person with a green shirt on, but just know that you can always reach out to staff, your fellow 2Ls, and even rely on your other teammates too.
Advice for future team leaders. Do everything with intent and purpose, just to make the most out of your service year. It will benefit yourself, your growth, and your team's growth as well. It's only 11 or 10 months, but don't just power through it without knowing what you want to get out of it at the end.